What was it like for you when you
so
after
what
you made that
happened for
comment?
me was that I was on this show about a year ago, and we were in a debate about gender equality with Milo, and what happened was that afterwards I received, in 48 hours, I received 165 pages of Twitter abuse, including about 20 rape and death threats, including unpleasant comments about my appearance, lots and lots of those.
Because of what you said to Milo over here?
Well, not because, I mean, many of them were from Milo, and many of them were egged on by him, many of them were encouraged by him, many people were retweeting him, you know, my head photoshopped onto unattractive bodies, this kind of thing, pictures of me manipulated to look horrible or whatever. And the fact is that I'm not the first or the last person to have been on the receiving end of this kind of onslaught, and these are not people questioning what I'd said. From Milo and from a group of people that he supports and encourages. And you know, if I was in that situation and supporters of mine were to do this kind of thing, I would of course turn around and say, hey, this is not cool, this is not okay. But instead of which, you know, egged on by a community of a deep-rooted misogynists, this is the world that we now live in. And it's not just me, lots and lots of women have been affected by this, including teenagers, including women from all around the world.
Okay, Milo.
It's about time we addressed it.
What have you turned into? What have you turned into?
I used to be such a nice young man.
Well, you did. You're a kind of Führer of the furious now.
How can you
You're sort of Major General of misogyny.
It's hard to believe, isn't it, that this...
well, why have your army reacted like that? You can't support those comments.
No, of course not. But here's the thing. I understand why Kate doesn't understand how fame works, but I do. And the thing is, you know, I'm not particularly interested in a professional provocateur who goes out and says deliberately outrageous things, like I do, turning around and then playing the victim when she doesn't like ridicule or criticism afterwards.
I don't say anything outrageous.
Ridicule, let me finish. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish, so stop. You know,
no.
After she lost the debate, as feminists very often do these days, because they've got facts on their side, you know, she turned around and she did what feminists always do, which is confect a sob story. Now, Kate is, like me, a professional provocateur, but only one of us plays the victim afterwards. Now, it's interesting, you know, if we get back to the question, it's interesting that, you know, that it's even being framed like this at all, because what the research shows, the Pew Global data from 2014 shows, is that actually it's men who get more abuse online than women. It is men who get more death threats, it's men who get more violent threats. The only thing that women beat men at, and this is Pew Global data, is the gold standard of research. The only thing that women beat men in is cyber stalking. And guess what? A lot of the people doing the stalking are other women. What social media shows isn't that men hate women, it's that women hate everyone. Okay. And that women are the
Wait.
Let me just finish this. Let me finish this point. I promise
That's
I'll be quick.
That's an outrageous thing to say.
I'm going to qualify. I'm going to explain what I mean by that, right?
It's amazing.
Not only are men, I'm going to get to you, Connie.
Okay, explain that to my four daughters, what you just said.
Not only... Take the camera off it.
Not only...
Free speech.
Not only...
Speech doesn't mean that it's not outrageous.
Well, we'll talk about your free speech about Tim Hunt in a minute. Not only are men the primary victims...
This is the man who
Not only are men the primary victims of this, but women are the primary perpetrators.
Wait, let him finish.
Now, it's interesting, isn't it?
Why should we let him finish?
How much time are you giving him?
Okay.
How much time are you giving him?
Connie.
This is the man who went on Twitter recently and said he wanted somebody assassinated.
No, I didn't. Okay. You're a liar. Yeah. You lied about Tim Hunt. You lied about Tim Hunt, and now you're lying about me.
Please, Milo. Let Connie. Listen.
You are a fraud and you are a liar.
If I were to lead you all, if I were to walk out of the studio now and lead you all to it, mayhem would ensue.
Nicky, if you were to walk out of the studio, I would come with you, because I don't believe you should be giving airtime to someone who's a serial
Connie, you are
Wait a minute. I want silence. I want silence. I want us all to enjoy just a little 10-second window of silence, and then we can all calm down. No talking for 10 seconds. Kate, what were you going to say?
What I was going to say is that, I don't want this to be a debate about one individual. I think it's a shame that people give airtime to somebody, whose views and whose completely horrific statements have been so widely seen, and we should do no better.
It's good to challenge them, isn't it?
The point is that there is a huge, huge weight of, and young women especially who go out and speak up online are facing a huge backlash, and I think it's very frightening. I'm often asked to do things like go into schools, and teachers always want me to go in and encourage young women to speak up and express themselves, and I'm forced to say I don't actually think that young women are stupid. I don't think that when they don't express themselves it's because they're all bashful and nervous and they don't know what to say. I think that they know what social media is really like. I think the facts are pretty plain to see.
View of women.
And I think that that if we want young people to speak out and to feel comfortable expressing themselves, then what we need to do is make the internet a place where they can do so. That means bringing in sensible laws and training the police to deal with these kind of things. And there's a sort of echo in the background.
I'm going to come to you in a minute, and Connie, I'm going to come to you for a nice little bit in a minute.
We need the police to be trained how to deal with this. We need straightforward training on when to act and when not to act, to make sure that the worst things, the rape and the death threats, the horrific harassment and abuse is dealt with. And I think that when we see a few high-profile individuals, perhaps including some in this studio, locked up, it'll be time for other people to back off.
Okay,
and I very much look forward to that day.
All right, Milo, I'll come to you. Connie, I'm going to come to you in just a second, okay? That's all right, and we'll have a... Yeah, you can. You were going to come back in.
Yeah, let me...
No,
over here.
Someone has to reveal how very similar these two arguments are, because what actually both Milo and Kate are saying is that people can be made to feel victimised and very nervous and scared of the internet, whether that be men or women. But actually, I want to put, and it's both kind of very pathetic view of how people deal with insults and words, because really most people, especially on Twitter, when they receive this kind of crap,
rape and death.
Rape and death threats are bad, but when they receive this kind of rubbish on Twitter, they block or they ignore. And I really want to pick up on this idea that women,
please, Kate,
it's very telling. That's kind of, this is what happens. Middle-class women decide that they want to take on the plight of women, and that women are victimised. Women can't handle the internet. It's absolutely ridiculous and disgusting and sexist and patronising to say that women can't handle the internet. The internet should never be a safe space. The internet women should be able to experience everything about public life. We fought for that throughout history, and here's somebody who wants to shut us away from it.
Okay, well, let's